Hey guys, welcome back to the Wednesday show. This is the first Wednesday show of the year. Sorry I've been gone. I know that it's been a while, but I thought I would say hello. Hi. We're getting back on track. We're going to be doing Wednesdays and Friday shows from here on out. You know what? I now know what I want to talk about. I was going to do Brain Deals Part 2. I was going to do a follow-up of my thoughts on the Switch, but I thought today that I would talk about something as an artist that really stifles me a lot. And that, my friends, is writer's block, or creator's block, or any kind of block that permits you from doing anything creative. Now, in my industry of making a video a week, let alone completing a game a week, let alone doing 7 Beer Bros videos, stuff for Patreon, Game Wisp, and the personal channel now, I practically live in a constant state of doubt, fear, and writer's block. And all those kind of three things blend with one another, if you will. But I think more importantly, creator's block or writer's block is not a bad thing. It's totally okay to experience it. It is a bad thing if it's like a deadline-based situation or you're trying to figure out something for your future or something like that. But for the most part, creators or writer's block, I should call it creator's block, it kind of comes and goes in waves, right? It hits you, it slows you down, and you're kind of depressed by it, you're scared, all these kinds of different emotions and feelings that you get in those moments. And those are all feelings to be okay with. I mean, to give you an idea, I've never actually said this, I don't think, publicly, and I think that maybe I said it on the podcast a few weeks ago, but I view the completionist and the creation of the show and how I complete a game a week and the entire process, I view it as, for you wrestling fans out there, like the WWE Championship, right? This is a championship belt that I've created for myself, the completionist title. And every week on the show, it is my job to defend that title as proudly as I can, because it's who I am, it's what made the show as what it is, and I'm very comfortable with who I am as that person. The problem is, completing a game a week over and over again for more than five years, it takes your toll on you. And there are some episodes of the show where I go, man, that one wasn't as good as the others. But I learned to accept them because the quality of the show and the heart of the show is still the same. It's still me, and that's the most important aspect, that I am putting myself in the forefront as much as I can to make this show as great as I can. And I love that aspect of it. I think it fuels me. It gives me the energy that I need to barrel through it. But with that said, that doesn't always solve my creator's block. There's been so many episodes of the show where I've had to over-edit things, simplify edits, remove jokes, add jokes, not put any jokes at all, change the tone of who I am as a person. Am I too negative? Am I too positive? These kinds of back and forth feelings are natural. They happen all the time as a creator because you just want to do the best version of you that you can, and that doesn't always work well. That there, you know, if this was class, if this was school, and you got graded solely on your homework, if you just did your homework, everyone would be successful. But really, it's test taking, it's studying, it's the extra effort you have to put into it to make sure you know the material, I guess. I got lost in that metaphor, but I think what I'm getting at is you have to know all the ins and outs of what you're doing, and that's always hard to do at 100% every single day. Every single day. I can't apparently talk today. Now, how I usually get around writer's block or creator's block is playing video games. But what do you do to get around creators or writer's block when your job and your livelihood and your creative outlet is video games? I'm too busy playing video games because I'm playing video games. And that's because we have a schedule here on the show and Beard Bros and everything across the board. And there's just always so much going on that I don't always get to sit back and enjoy what I'm consuming or talking about or discussing. I've been criticized largely in the past for being someone who takes unrealistic expectations by completing a game a week to prove that the game is not good, or that it should be graded differently because no person should do it in a week. And I do agree, no one should complete a game in a week. That's just too much. However, that's my production cycle, and in that week, I'm able to determine whether or not I can physically do it, one, and two, if the journey is worth the trek. And I think that's a very subjective thing. Obviously, reviews are subjective. I understand where people are coming from when I get criticized for that, but at the same time, I look at myself and I go, but I am doing the work. I am putting in the effort. I am putting the research. I'm doing the best that I can all the time. And the production aspect of the show is a lot. It's a lot to take on. To those people out there who say that I shouldn't be doing it, you're right. I shouldn't be consuming games that way, but that's kind of how I do games anyways. What do you do when you get a new game, right? You sit there and you go, oh, I'm gonna play the living crap out of this for as long as I can, and I'm gonna love it. Or, man, why did I put so much time into that? I wish I really didn't. That's kind of how we play games. At least most people who are like super into video games do, or they try to, because everyone has their own problems going on, their own lives, their own jobs, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I'm getting sidetracked. But the point is that you consume stuff as much as you can, as quick as you can, so you can enjoy the experience in the now versus someone experiencing it later for you or ruining it for you, or really just making it personal about yourself. And that's the thing that I'm coming back to with Creator's Block. As a gamer, how am I able to continually make gaming content without being burnt out? Granted, I'm not well in the brain in that matter. I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating right, I'm not thinking straight all the time. But I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm talking about. I love the discussion I have. I love the feedback back and forth, even if people are very mean to me for no reason, or just in their very judgmental reasoning. I think that the way that I do it is I embrace different kinds of games I'd never played before, different kinds of games that I've heard many people say they're great, or I've heard many people say they're bad. I think that's the whole point of the Disappointing Games Month, is I'm going outside of my comfort zone and playing games that I've heard for years that are really bad, and I'm trying to see, are they truly bad? And that's a different way of thinking than being positive all the time and really diving into the aspects of completing a game for the sake of liking it and enjoying it. Completing games that are bad are okay. I guess the overall point I'm trying to make as I wrap up this video of random thoughts, as always, as I'm here on the show trying to get everything my brain has to say and offer right away, is that Creator's Block comes and goes in waves. And for as someone who creates content that's around their hobby, around their passion, around their love, it's hard to stay motivated and focused all the time. But at the end of the day, the thing that really gets me going is a few things. One, this title of a WWE championship that doesn't exist. The fans, you guys at home, I think I kind of view myself as a weird superhero. God, I sound so narcissistic, don't I? You know, we have so many young fans in the show. I get emails all the time from so many kids and parents and families who say, yo, every Friday I watch your show and I watch Beard Bros all the time, and you're a part of our lives, and I never miss an episode. That to me is more than enough to conquer any sort of writer's block, creator's block in my way. I think that Big Bad Bosses was a means of me coming through a massive creator's block. You know, Big Bad Bosses, I've been working on a project like that for years and years and years, and to finally put it out in the world in a way where the quality is unmatched and the heart and the talent and the soul behind it is so there, it felt great creatively. This project, 2016, was to launch this personal channel, and I did it, and it's here. And by the way, thank you for 50,000 subscribers. We hit 50,000 subs in less than 2 months, and it means a lot to me. I promise we're gonna make good stuff here. It's not just gonna be me talking about my day, but we'll get there. It's working it out. How do you take this and apply it to something that's not video game oriented? Well, my therapist always tells me that it's totally okay to challenge yourself or make yourself uncomfortable for a new perspective. So for instance, going back to video games, obviously, I hate MMORPGs. I cannot stand them. I have played World of Warcraft free trials over and over and over again. I used to play City of Heroes when I was in high school, and you know, I mean, obviously Diablo's not the same, but those kinds of games, I just could never get beyond them because you had to pay to play them, you had to keep paying to pay them, and I always criticized and judged people harshly for playing those games. My therapist was like, why do you do that? And I said, well, because it's not what I like. And he goes, right, but that's not a great way of thinking. That's, especially as a creator, that's putting up a block, a wall, a brick wall for your creativity to let alone try and understand other people's perspective. And so he told me, hey, pick the one that you think would be interest to you. And so I started playing Final Fantasy XIV Online, and I fell in love with it. And it changed my entire perspective, my entire outlook and attitude towards MMORPGs. And, you know, if you hate basketball, if you hate football, try watching a game. Go read the lore of a football player or a basketball player and see if you really enjoy them. If you hate movies, watch movies you love, watch movies you hate. I think it's really important to challenge yourself creatively by looking at what makes you unhappy or what makes you sad and try finding the good in it. And the same thing goes for the other way around. Look at what makes you happy, look at what makes you, you know, full of life, and look at it and go, well, why would someone else not like that? It's kind of a weird way. It's how I deal with things, and it may not be the best for everyone, but that's how I certainly deal with it, and that's just kind of my 2 cents. But as always, this is just my personal opinion. This is just my brain vomit, if you will, and I hope you guys enjoyed it for what it is. Let me know how you deal with creator's block or writer's block in the comments below if you choose to do so. It doesn't need to be like a creator or writer specific thing. It could be just a normal blocker in your day. What stops you from being able to move forward? That's the biggest thing, because in my opinion, all of that stuff can always be conquered as long as you make a really, really good effort and push yourself to go beyond the bounds outside of the confines of what it is. So guys, this was the Wednesday video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. I'm glad we're back. Battle Square, I'm tinkering with it. I think we're gonna make it a brand new show altogether, one that's got a lot more production value and a lot of assets behind it. I'm taking a risk creatively to make it bigger and better for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it in the upcoming weeks. With that said, I love you guys, I love your faces, to quote Philip DeFranco, and I will see you guys on Friday. See you later.